Hey, so in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about change and why we must learn to accept it, the good and the bad. Because there is better change and there's worse change, but we need to accept it all, no matter what, and take the best from it. So, let's get right into it. To start off, I'd just like to say that change has been on my mind a lot recently because I'm coming up to one of the more pivotal moments in my life, per se. Or well, a few of them, I guess. Because I'm going into grade 12 soon. I've got about 4 days as of recording this. 4 days until grade 12. That's so funky. And then I'm gonna be 18 in March. And then I'm a legal man, I guess you could say. I'm gonna get my official driver's license soon. So I'm becoming independent in a sense. In a sense, it's really not like I've got years to go before I'm independent, but it's to say that I'm I'm transitioning into adulthood, and it's gonna happen all kind of pretty fast here, you know, because within about like a year, like in a year from now, college will be starting soon. So to put that into perspective, I only have so much time before before I'm done with school, like normal school, and just am a legal man. You know, it's not like anything too big's gonna change, but it's to say that the idea, the prospect of it, it's funky. You know, because I'm about to finish school. You know, I never really thought about it like that. You never really do think about it like that. I'm about to finish school and then I'm gonna be a man. It was such a far out idea, but now I look back and it's like I was in kindergarten 12 years ago. Well, I guess, or maybe it was, or like 13, I think it would be technically. Yeah, like I was in kindergarten 13 years ago. I had graduation, and my school had like graduations that everyone was invited to. So I went to graduation parties at grade 1, 2, and 3. I wasn't really graduating; I was just invited. But I went to the graduation parties, and there was grade 12s, and I was like, that's such a far out idea. I can't imagine that. But now I am a grade 12. Now I am a grade 12 kid, and now I'm at that stage that I used to look up to so very long ago. It's kind of crazy, and that change has been on my mind because it's like in a few days here, it's all gonna begin. The beginning of the end. Oh, it's really not that dramatic, but it's to say that once grade 12 starts, it's the beginning of the end, I guess you could say, and that's only in a few days here. So that's a funky thought and a little scary in its own because as it is, it's like so many things are about to become different. The life I know now, the life I live, is gonna have to change in some ways. You know, I'm gonna have a beard to maintain. I'm joking. I mean, I'm growing, I'm trying, but it's probably a few more years out. That change will come later down the line, but until then, all the things that I've done here, it's all gonna change in some way. I'm gonna be thrusted from my childhood into manhood, just like that. It's starting in a few days, and well, like not just like that, but it won't be like that. But I'll have about a year of getting through the stuff before all that's really done. So I'll have like a year of a transitioning period from childhood to manhood, I guess you could say. So it's a funky thought. It's got me in a bit of a different spot than I've ever been in with change before. Because I've been thinking a lot about my past now and like the things that I had before. Mainly the school and the childhood that I had before. Because I left school, like in-person school, in about grade 7. That was when COVID hit and all that. But because of this, I've just been thinking about my school, like the life I used to have in person, in an in-person school, how that felt, the people there, the things I did, all the experiences I had, how that all went. And I also I'm thinking about my childhood and how careless it was in a sense, like how fun that was. Like it wasn't like I was being careless and stupid. I was just being a kid. And, like, the only things on my mind were school, and then I go play games with my friends or go outside with my brothers. Like, it was really just school, and then I go have fun, you know? I didn't have anything else on my mind. I didn't have anything else to go do. Of course, I had chores every now and then. I won't lie. My mom had me do a couple chores, and every now and then, I had a couple different periods in my life where I had instrument classes. So like I had other things to do, and sports. I had other things to do, but it's to say that from where I am now, it just looks so carefree. It's so stress free. It's very just blissful ignorance, I guess you could say. But I look back at those times, and I kind of miss them. In times like these, where I'm witnessing the beginning of the end of my childhood. It's really got me thrusting back into the memories I had with all those parts of my life. All the things I did. And I truly miss all those experiences. I miss everything about that stuff. I really do. And it's funny because it makes me want to go back and do it all again. And it kind of makes me want to achieve that feeling today. It makes me try to find ways to find that feeling. It's really like a drug in a sense. It's nostalgia, I guess you could say, but it's just that in today's standpoint, I'm just like every time I think about it, it's like I want to go back, or I want to find some way to feel that way again, but I can't, no matter what. I can't go back to the way I felt when I was in school, or the experiences I had, and I can't go back to when I was more of a carefree child. I can't do this. I can't do it, no matter what. It's really funny in a way. It's like a limbo state. It really is. It's a limbo between being a man and being a child, because on one aspect of it, I'm not entirely a man. This is no. But I'm not entirely a child either. So it's like I'm becoming a man and I'm unbecoming a child, but I'm neither of them yet. So it's like, well, what am I at this moment? And it's just funny because it's like I want to merge both of those worlds together. That's kind of where I am. I'm in limbo, so I want to find a way to merge both of those worlds together, and and find a way to keep them alive and thriving together. That's kind of what I think. Is like when I think about these things and how I miss them and how I want them back, it's really just me trying to find a way to merge them together. But once again, I never can, and I really don't. I've been puzzled by it for so long, for so very long. Why I can't merge those two worlds together. Why I can't make it so that I don't have to fully change. That I can kind of half change. It's like 50-50. I can keep my old ways and change into the new ones. And in a way you can. In certain cases you can do that. That isn't entirely inaccurate. It's just that I'm searching for a feeling that isn't really achievable for me anymore. And that's not a bad thing. It's like the carelessness. It's like the freedom. That's the feeling I want to chase there. And I can't really get that back. I can't get back my childlike innocence of just not really caring. I can go outside with my brothers. I can play my games. I can do whatever I want with that. I can do whatever I want. And I can still do the same stuff that I've done. It's not like I'm being robbed of that. But I can never have the exact same feeling that I had. I can never have that exact same feeling. And so I've thought about that for a long, long time. Why I can't merge the two and get a 50-50 on them so I don't sacrifice the future nor the past. But I have come to a bit of a mindset for it. A bit of a mindset that I believe is the full answer. I just don't know if I'm missing anything just yet. I might just be like a little drunken off nostalgia, and I don't know. But I think my mindset here is the answer. And it's that the change that's happening is for the better, and is sometimes what we truly want. Now, I know that sounds funky because, you know, what I just said is I want the feeling I had in the past. I want what I had before. That's what I want. I didn't say I wanted it to go away. But now I'm saying that maybe that is what I want. Maybe I do want it to go away. Maybe I don't want that feeling again. It's really funky. But I think that deep down, in cases like this, it's really something that is buried beneath everything, but we really do want it. And I have a little process to put it in perspective, to kind of hack at it, that will show you whether or not it is like a secret thing that you want. At least it's worked for me so far, with the cases I put it in. So it's just a simple like 2-step process. First, you just identify, what am I missing? What am I missing? What is the thing? And for me, for example, it would be being a young child and having that carefree like attitude, because you know I don't have any responsibilities. I'm just a kid living my life carefree. Not like absolutely carefree and stupid, but you know, to the point where I just live my life to do my homework, do my chores, and have fun. You know, like that's it. I don't have to worry about the future. I don't have to worry about what I want to do. That's the feeling I miss. That's the thing I want. And then also on the second part, I miss school. You know, I miss the feeling I had in in-person school. I miss all that stuff, the people, the teachers, the things I did, the things I got to do. Because you know, I don't have a gymnasium here, so it's a little bit harder for me to whip out the gymnasium equipment and do an entire thing because I don't have it. But nevertheless, you know, I miss school. I miss in-person school when I was a kid. I miss everything about that, which is ironic as well because I didn't miss it when I was going to school. I really hated it. I didn't like waking up early and going to school for the whole day. But now I kind of miss it. It's really, really ironic. But anyway, I miss school and I miss that carefree kind of innocent lifestyle that a child can live, that a child should live. And then second, I just like to think, what would it be like if I could grant that wish right now, if I could get that back, if I could have this stuff right now, if I could get it all back. And first, let's just chip off the two. So first, if I had that carelessness, if I had that innocence and that kind of way of living like a child, like a young child, if I had that mindset and that way of going through life, I probably wouldn't achieve much. Because if I look at my younger self, he didn't achieve too much beyond video games. I was really good at achieving video game things, but that was about it. Well, no, I was really good at school. I was good at school, and I was good at my instruments. I was good at my sports. I only did soccer. I'm not going to say sports. I only did soccer. I was good at what I did. But it was what I did I never put myself forward to do more than what my parents put me into, you know, because I'm a kid, you know. I didn't think I want to go do a bunch of this stuff and work towards it as my future goal. No. If my parents put me in soccer, I was in soccer, and if they'd run it by me. I'd want to go to soccer. It's not like they forced me in. I wanted to go. I wanted to do these things, but it's that it never occurred to me. You know, my parents offered it to me, and I was like, that's a good idea, but it never occurred to me, you know? So I was good at what I did, but did I ever really get any original ideas? Did I ever really make any original plans? I don't really know if I did, you know? It didn't quite occur to me. Not really. And it's funny, because that's how most kids are. That's normal. That's how it should be. Because we aren't really meant to think like that at such a young age, where we think what we want, when we want it, all that stuff. We aren't made to plan for the future at that age. So, you know, for my parents to put me into sports or music or in school, like to put me into these things was expected. You know, it was the way it was meant to get done. But I didn't take the initiative. That's the main thing. I never took the initiative. I never had too much of a concern about my future because I left it in mostly my parents' hands. You know, they'd put me into what I need, and I'd just get the work done. That was kind of the attitude. So if I had that today, I would not really achieve much. I would not really achieve anything because, my parents would have to put me on everything. Writing a blog like the one here, right? Recording the YouTube video, and they'd still have to put me in school and do put me into music stuff. Like, I'd have to get my parents to take the initiative for me so that I could follow through with the plan they've given me. And then, where would that bring me? That I would get nothing done. I would get nowhere. All my plans crushed. I can't have that. That feeling of carelessness stems from the fact that I'm a child and I am not yet capable of being too concerned about the future. So the feeling I had is gone. It's gone. And I don't think I'd want it back because, if in all seriousness, literally nothing would get done. So when I put that into perspective, secretly, I do not want that. Secretly, I want to mature. Secretly, I want to become a man, and I want to leave that as a thing of the past. Because if I bring it into the future, well, I'm screwed. And then second, for school. School nowadays is a completely different experience from when I was in school. Of course, I can't say for sure, but like I have family members who go to school, and all I hear, and like the news too, like all I hear is a bunch of stuff about kids with drugs, with weapons, with bear mace. That was one. A bunch of kids apparently had bear mace and were trying to bear mace my cousin, and she's a girl, so it's like you're gonna go bear mace a girl as a group of guys. Who the fuck are you? So to think that it went from such a normal experience to a bunch of mini gangsters with broccoli fucking haircuts going around trying to bear mace girls, that's not quite the same experience I had, And like, they got weapons. I hear of school shootings every now and then. I hear of people, like kids getting caught with just knives and weird things like drugs sometimes. It's just like, it could be anything. But I know that from whatever happened in lockdown, school kind of changed from a more normal experience to this like mini gangster junkie thing. It's really trailer park what they done here. And it's not what I want. I don't want to go back to school and constantly be in some form of danger because any one of these kids could have fucking bear mace or knives or drugs or planning to shoot up the school. I don't want to go back to school for that. That was never a thing. Back when I was in school, it was rare to hear about a school shooting. It was rare to hear about a kid who brought a knife into school or bear mace or drugs. It was rare. But now I see it every few weeks. It's way too common. Way too common. Never would I ever put that on myself to be risked in that format. I'm sure I'd be fine, but to live with that constant fear is like, no. I don't want to go back to school to live that. That's a whole different feeling. I'm not going to get what I had before. I'm not going to get that back. That's gone. And I should not try to replicate it for a half-assed version. I don't want to go back to school and try and replicate that feeling, but only half of it, That won't do it. Not under these conditions and not under any conditions. But, I'd say especially under these ones, cuz this is not like, it's a whole different environment. It's too dangerous. And I wouldn't wish it on my brothers, my friends, any of my family, anyone I know. I don't want to wish it on anyone. But not everyone gets a choice, right? So I'm fortunate enough to have the choice between online school or in-person school. And so I can look at this and I can decide whether or not I want to go. And I don't want to go. So I'm not going to do that. Why would I? So if I had that today and I was in danger and I had this half-assed replicated feeling, I wouldn't be any better than I am now. I'd probably be worse, with a chance of death every time I go to school. I'm not in the mood for that. I'm not in the mood. So after that, after all that's done, after we just did that process, something just like it, you just gotta ask, would you rather let that be a thing of the past and just move on to your future? Start anew? Let the change happen? Let it all run through? And oftentimes in cases like these, we would rather just let it happen, let it change, because we don't really want to go back to those things if we don't really want them. And sometimes we are really going to want them. There are certain things, like let's say for instance my dog who died. If I could have her back, I would. But it's in cases like that where you have to remember, it's literally impossible. It is not going to happen. And even if I did have her for even another day, even if I had her for another day, she could have been suffering for that day. And you know, I'd say I'm fortunate enough to have been there while in this house when she died. Because you know, I'd rather not have her in some vet hospital dying, or you know, just doing it in the night or something. We were there, and so I would not go back to change that, or to risk changing that. I would never do that. As much as I want her back, I have to be realistic here. I have to remember, I can't get her back no matter what. And even if I could have had her for just a little longer, what would that have even meant? Some things are impossible, and we literally need to accept that. There's nothing to do there. There's nothing at all. So in cases like these, you have to accept that it's impossible. You have to accept that it might have been for the best, because that's the thing, is it may not have been what you wanted, and it may not have always been for the best, but you have to remember, if there was nothing you could do, and you made the best decision in the moment, or you had no control at all, no matter what, as long as you remember that you had no control or made the best decision in the moment, you're fine. It will suck, but you can't control everything. We can't be control freaks. We have to accept change, the good and the bad. I just like to think that there's different methods for both of those, you know, accepting the impossible and then accepting nostalgia and all that, you know. The more good, the better things can be resolved with the process I shared, and the worst things can be resolved with just accepting the impossible and accepting the past. You have to do it. It will suck, but you have to do it. Either way, with all that said, I challenge you to make the most of this day here today. That's my challenge for you here today. I want you to appreciate it to the maximum. I want you to make sure you make the absolute most of it, because you're going to look back at this day, funny enough, and you're also going to have the same problem as me, where you're going to view this as the nostalgic days that you want to go back to. Or, well, it's not guaranteed, but it's pretty likely that you're going to view it as the days that you would like to go back to. So make the most of this day. Make the most of this time here. And then, with that, accept the changes that will come in your life. Accept them, and try not to think of it like you're watching your past fade away, like you're watching what you knew fade away. Try to think of it like the door is opened for a million different adventures for you. A million more. Try to think of it like whatever's coming next is going to open the door for a million new adventures, and I get to do all of it, or some of it, but whatever you want. At least that's the way I like to do it, because it makes me excited about graduating and excited about becoming a man, you know? I'd rather be excited about that stuff than be looking at my past and going, well, I'm no longer going to be a child, and boo-hoo. It's like, I gotta look at the positive here. I gotta look at the positive. So with change like this, you know, remember, you may be losing a part of yourself and a part of your past, but another door will open for a million new adventures. Remember that. Be excited about it. Anyway. Hope this helps you a ton with accepting change, with accepting everything, the good and the bad. Remember to just remember that it is impossible to go back. I know we want to freeze time, I know we want to go back, but we can't. So remember that it is impossible, and that not everything will be the end of the world. We will have a new door with a million new adventures. I hope this helps you with accepting it. Thank you for listening, and if you want the blog, it'll be down below. Take care, my friend.